Good morning, friends. The word of the day is wet. It's been raining off and on here in Greenville, Maine for about a day and a half. Today's supposed to be pretty dry though, so it should be a good day. So where I'm at right now is called Big Moose Mountain. There is a Little Moose and a Big Moose Mountain. And at the top of this one is a little watchtower that's supposed to have a pretty nice view. So maybe I'll get a better idea about how mountainous this area is. I've seen the topographical maps and everything, but it'd be nice to be able to see it with my own eyes. Yeah, starting off this morning, I wasn't sure if this trail was going to be passable. I kind of tried to do it last night, and it was so wet, it was just impossible. So I've been in Greenville for a little bit over a week now, and I've gotten to kind of know the area a little bit, and my first impressions are very positive. The people are very welcoming. I think part of why it was easy for me to meet some people was because I am from Colorado, and Colorado, Maine are kind of similar in a lot of ways. We have a lot of similar things to talk about. But people are very nice. The town is very pretty. You guys will see that later, unless you look it up yourself. And everything you need is right there in town. You really don't need to leave Greenville. If you didn't want to, you wouldn't need to leave. And in Greenville, you're definitely not wanting for things to do. If you want to, you can hire any kind of service you want there. Fishing, hunting. You can get a seaplane ride. There's lots of hiking. And summertime, there's a metric crapload of ATV trails around town. And they're very well marked. They're honestly, they're marked better than some towns and states mark their own streets. They all have names and they all tell you what trail goes where and that kind of thing. All these little crossroads that say where the next trail's gonna go. And really anything outdoors you want to do, you can pretty much do here. I have not seen a jet ski on the lake yet. And actually, it just seems like boating, for it being on a lake, boating isn't quite as popular as you would expect. It's not unpopular, don't get me wrong, but for being the biggest freshwater lake in Maine, and one of the biggest in the Northeast, it's not like Tahoe or Powell. You don't have just a sea of boats. And even though it's early in the season, people are starting to cut their boats out of the shrink wrap that they had it in for winter. And there's always a few in line at the dock getting cut out and getting put in the marina. But based on how little marina space there is, I think the lake is always pretty quiet relatively. Then if you don't want to do a power boat, you can always rent a canoe or buy a canoe when you're here if you want. A lot of the lodges around town and around the lake do canoe rentals. So if you want to enjoy the lake in a more peaceful way, there's an option for you. The major thing that blows me away about this area is just how wet it always is. I knew it rained quite a bit here, but it's not really the rainfall, it's the way the ground holds the water. The ground, I think, is just layers of moss and dead leaves, and it just holds on to the water forever. Like, it's been dry for, I don't know, 18 hours or so now, and it really doesn't seem that much drier than when it was raining last night. So that's my takeaway of the landscape around here. It's, in a lot of ways, it's very similar to the Grand Mesa in Colorado. The big difference is the moisture part of it. It's just wet, wet, wet. It seems like it never will dry out because it's just layers and layers of dead leaves. I think that's called loam, I think. I don't know. Whew. A little more steep than I was expecting. Oh, I came across a little bit of a wrecked old ranger station or trapper house or something. Any critters? Man, I'm half expecting to find one of those Blair Witch Project figurines in the trees. Huh, big mushroom. Huh, well, that was a nice little surprise. And as far as I know, I haven't been possessed by a demon yet. So that's good. We're just about at the end of the first leg, and what honestly might be the last leg for me. This hike was a little bit more than I was expecting, but I'll rest for a little bit and see how I feel later. There's supposed to be a little overlook around here. It said it was 100 yards on the sign back there. Well, I think I can see it. Oh man, this hike was really nice. I always like hiking in the Appalachians. It's very different from the Rockies. The Appalachians are a lot older, like a lot older than the Rockies. And you can kind of feel that when you're up here. It's much more alive. Like you just feel that they've been around for, growing and getting ground down over the years. Everything's a lot smoother, quite a bit less rocky. I know there's exceptions. I know there are rocky parts of the Appalachians, like Katahdin and stuff like that. But overall, oh, moose shit. Lovely. Oh, where is it? Let's try this way. Wow, it's a good one. Dang, actually up pretty high. All right, don't break your ankle. But yeah, I'm glad that I've been able to see 2 parts of the Appalachians now. I've spent some time in South Carolinas. Now, oh wow, look at that one. Oh man, I don't know if we're gonna be able to beat this. There is Moosehead Lake right there. And then if it wasn't for that little hill right there, Greenville will be right there. Wow. That's something, isn't it? Well, there in front of us is the actual end of the trail. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be any better than this. There is a fire observatory up there, and that would be cool to see, but honestly, I don't think it's going to get us that much better of a view than here. So I'm gonna call it here. Well guys, I honestly expected this to be more of like a walkie-talkie kind of video, but this hike ended up being more of a hike than I was expecting it to be. But it was a welcome one. It was very pretty. It was a fun one. I'd never been on a trail quite like this before, so it was really cool. But I'm gonna call this a wrap. I meant to talk about Greenville more, but the trail ended up being more interesting than what I was going to talk about, so we got a little bit in, but there's a lot more to say about the town. I'm going to call it there, guys. I'm glad you came along with me on this little hike of mine, and I'll see you next time. Might go mountain biking next time, or I might give you a tour of the town. We'll see what happens. See ya.